Hey ladies! Alright, so I'm getting around to do the video that you were all requesting, which is how I serge my cores and some serger tips in general. This video is going to be a little bit different just because I have an industrial serger and most of you have, you know, the regular Brothers or Janome and stuff like that, which look nothing like mine. Mine's set in a table. I mean, it's kind of messy, but as you can see, and I've got pedals down. Oh, sorry, you get my legs. And I've got pedals down there. Okay. And then I've got a scrap chute into a trash can. So like I said, mine's a very different setup from yours. But I can still give you some pointers and stuff for when you are looking to serge and have better serging success, I guess. First off, I want to tell you all to get rid of the horrible tweezers that come with your machine. They are crap, they don't work, they don't grab anything, and I recommend you go to Walmart or the dollar store and get a pair that are like these. They're the sharp tipped ones, and they are pretty sharp, so just be careful with them. But they grab on so much better than the others, and they're smaller, so they fit in my hand a lot better because I have really small hands. And then I also use these little snippers just to cut off the chains after I've cut them from my machine, because I have a little blade on mine right here. So when I pull it out, it's kind of like the sewing machine one, but it's for my serger. Alright, like I said, this is the industrial, so it does look really, really funny. This is my first needle, second needle, upper looper, and bottom looper. I only use a 3-thread, so I only use one needle, but my machine can do 2, which is that little circle there. That's where the second one would go. But I personally don't like the 4th thread. It's just an extra step that I don't really want to bother with. It's there to have an extra security on your stitches, and I just can't be bothered, to be honest. So I use the 3-thread. On your guys' machines, you're going to have like a differential feed, tension, foot pressure, stitch length. Oh goodness, I can't even remember them all. I did start on the Brother 1034, and I think it's a great machine to start out on. Just because for the money, it does an excellent job. It is super loud, especially when you hear my machine. You probably won't even be able to hear my machine because industrials don't make that much noise. So it is a good machine, but it is loud. So okay, let's get started. So I have just a piece of scrap here. It's just a piece of blizzard fleece that I used 2 of them in. And this is what the 3-thread serging looks like. And here's the back. Oh, there we go. Here's what the back looks like. And this is a perfect stitch in my opinion, because if you can see, they meet right in the middle and it's a nice tight serge. And I don't use woolly nylon. This is just the regular poly thread, okay? Sorry, I'm a really bad nail biter and cuticle chewer, so they look like crap, but try not to look at them. But that's what a 3-thread would look like. If it was the 4th, it would have an extra line above this one going across. Okay? So I'm just going to show you what it would look like and how my machine sounds. So I have to lift the pedal. Hopefully this will focus for you all in time. I don't know. Anyways. Like I said, I've got this little blade back here that I can do. Okay, nice crisp line. Alright. So one thing that I've had you guys ask me is you're serging along and then all of a sudden your threads are like out here and not flush against your fabric. And I'm going to tell you now that is operator error, and I'll show you why it is and how to fix it. One thing you have to remember with a serger is it only sews and serges straight. It does not do curves or anything. If you need to do a curve, you need to manipulate your fabric to look as straight as you can get it for your serger. I always recommend that if you have like something to serge that has, you know, curves or anything like this would have, to leave extra. I mean, you don't have to leave this much. I usually leave about like a 1/2 inch or something. around what my actual piece is that needs to be serged. That way I have something to cut off. I use my blade as my matching point for the line. So that'll really, really help you. You don't cut your fabric exactly to what it needs to be. Your serger blade is going to do that for you. So let me just show you what you guys are doing when you have that loop on the outside, because my friend had the same problem, and I was finally able to help her figure it out, because for the longest time she just didn't understand what I was telling her. So this right here is my blade. As you can see, this metal piece right here. And here's my needle. Okay? So watch what I do. Serging, serging. Now, did you see me when I pulled away and how it caused this? That's what you're doing. You're cutting it and moving it away from the fabric, and so it's going how it's supposed to, but it's basically going where you've placed the fabric, and you've pulled it out from where it's supposed to be. Again, this is really hard to show one-handed, but I'll show you it again. So you're serging, serging, see how it goes straight. You probably hear my chair creaking, sorry. Straight, 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 right? And then you're cutting and going back in, kind of deal. And see how it did it again. Where'd it go? Right here. So see what I mean? It had already cut this with the blade, and then you moved it, and the loop went up. Okay? So that's what I mean by you have to make sure that you keep your fabric flush and don't move it. See, even these right here, oh no, those ones are fine. But yeah, this part right here, this happens a lot in curves and stuff. When you have an inside curve instead of an outer curve. Let me show you what I mean by inside and outside. Okay, this would be an inside curve. This would be an outside curve. This is usually where you have your problem, because you're cutting, 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 and you're expecting to have to go out, and so you're going out after it's already cut, and you get that loop problem. So hopefully that explains that for you all. Now I'm going to show you how I serge these cores. This is like a 9-inch one. I just put it on here to show you corners and stuff. This probably won't look perfect just because I'm doing this one-handed, but I'll do my best. When you're serging, you cannot have any type of pin in the way of your serging section anywhere by the blade. I have actually cut off pins with my serger blade before. Not this machine, thankfully, because I figured out that you can't do that. Now it's bad because it will dull your blades. So I only use 2 pins, and they're right here, and it's just to keep the fabric from shifting. My foot won't be anywhere near it, so it's just perfect for me. Another thing to mention is when you're serging, if you are serging with a lot of polyester fabrics or anything that's not a natural fiber, it will dull your blade on your serger. So, I mean, on mine it's a lot different from yours. This is my serger blade. It'll focus. There we go. This thing right here. You can see the edge of it with my nail. Minky is really, really bad about that, so make sure you change your blades often if you're starting to have, best way to describe it is you're serging along and the edges after you serge are kind of poking out and rough looking, almost like the threads had been pulled from the fabric itself. So just keep in mind if you're having that problem, it's probably because you need to change your blade. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you. Whenever another thing that people have a problem with is where to start your serge on your fabric. I go for the easiest straight line, so that's obviously going to be right here. So I would start it at about here at this angle to join in on this. So let me just show you what I mean. See how I'm able to turn it ever so slightly? It looks like I'm turning it wrong for you all, but I'm not. Okay. So that's the inside curve. Now I'm going to go into the outer curve. And outer curves are a lot easier. My fabric is there's too much excess, so it's not going into the shoot like it needs to. And see what I mean? It's all the way flush. The threads are looking perfect. Oops, sorry. Let me put you back over here. Ugh, this fabric is bunching up on me, sorry. It's gonna look all weird because I'm doing this one-handed. And then when you get to where the points meet from where you started and where you need to stop, follow your line and go a little past because you're cutting into those threads, so you need to put something over them, and then serge right on the outer edge. See how my blade is not touching? And it's still with the thread overlapping the ones cut. And then you pull it out. So these ones were the ones that were cut. I serged over them to keep them from fraying, and then I pulled it off really, really fast. And if you do it really fast like this, you won't have that weird loop as it goes up usually. So like I said, this didn't serge up perfectly as the shape. Ouch. But it's good enough for you all. So I started up here. I messed up right there because the fabric, it was too bulky, so it wasn't going down the chute. Okay, and if you look at the back, as long as your tension settings are correct, you shouldn't have any of your bottom loopers coming up to here or your top loopers coming down over this. So that's another thing. You need to make sure your tensions are perfect. Not too tight that they can't connect to create the stitch, but tight enough that it has a clean and crisp serging edge. Okay? And again, these meet right in the middle, nice and tight stitches. Okay? And you can run your finger over them and they're flush. Okay? Sorry, you guys can probably hear my kids yelling at each other. But anyways, that is all I really had to show you. I can't think of anything else to really help you. If you have any questions, just comment on my YouTube channel or comment on any of the posts that I post this in, any of the groups, and I will answer any questions that I know the answers to. So yeah, I hope this helped you all, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye!